Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and we are finally here looking at the second season in review here. So if we look at, the league leaders, we're going to start out with this portion, looking at the stats across the league. You can see the NL. Let's see if we have any top guys in any of these categories. You remember, we didn't hit that well at all as a team, so we're not going to have anybody there in the top as far as batting average. But look at Josh Bell, 4th in the league in hits, and Manny Machado's at 13. So they had a lot of hits, to be honest. At bats, Machado did have 5. He didn't draw too many walks. We'll look at individually coming up, but I just want to see where we're ranked across the league. Look at Christian Yelich. I mean, he had a big year for the Brewers, so he looks like he led in doubles, and then he led the NL in hits. If we keep going over triples, we definitely didn't have. Whoa, we had JT Realmuto up there, had 6 triples on the year, so I'm surprised to see him up there. But home runs is where we shined. Manny Machado's #1 in the league. Justin Bour is tied for 2nd in the NL, and it looks like Domingo Santana was tied for 7th as well. So he has a big season, another big season, 33 home runs, and Justin Bour is going to be a free agent. So we're definitely going to have some answers to address. So looking at RBIs here, Manny Machado is 4th in RBIs in the NL as Josh Bell is down there at 11. Looking at runs, Domingo Santana actually finishes in the top 6 in runs with 90. I'm pretty surprised to see that, as Manny Machado is actually up there as well with 90 runs as well. So looking at stolen bases, we definitely didn't have anybody up there, so we're not even going to look at that. Looking at walks, Josh Bell is tied for 11th in the league with 76 walks. Let's keep going down the line. On base percentage, Freddie Freeman actually had a huge year. 441 on base percentage, and he does lead in slugging percentage as well. And Justin Bour actually finishes top 5. So we have 2 top 5 guys in slugging percentage. Justin Bour, Manny Machado, pretty good. OPS, Justin Bour actually had a career year as far as OPS. If you want to look at his stats, how he's been doing, last year was definitely his highest year in OPS, and definitely his highest year in slugging. He definitely had he had a monster year last year. Kind of hard to follow that up. We knew that he probably wouldn't, get as good as he did last year. But look at, if you look above where his name is, look at his potential. It's actually gone up, and his overall. So he's going to be a free agent. I don't know. We did trade for Josh Bell, but just how well he's hitting. I'm going to try to keep him around. Let's see what he's demanding. $4 million probably in the offseason. But we're not an AL team. That's the only thing. I just might have to let him go, even though, he's... it's going to be tough to let him go. 278, he hit pretty well. 38 home runs, 82 RBIs. That's hard to deny. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit when it comes to the offseason. Let me know what you guys think. I have Josh Bell or Justin Bour. I know I traded for Josh Bell, but Justin Bour is just killing, and Josh Bell is on his way up. And the thing is, Justin Bour's actually gotten better. So looking at wins, we're going to keep going along as far as pitching goes. Michael Fulmer, 15 wins on the year. He had a pretty good season, 15-7. We're going to keep just going down the line. You can pause it if you do want to see ERA. Fulmer actually was 2nd in ERA in MLB, and Jarlin Garcia was 7th. So we had a pretty good year from our top 2 pitchers. Home runs allowed, Jarlin Garcia actually gave up the least amount of home runs in the NL, as Michael Fulmer pitched the most shutouts, and he actually also had the most complete games. So he actually killed there along with Clayton Kershaw, but he definitely pitched the most innings, man, mainly because of those complete games. Looking at walks allowed, DeSclafani actually had 3rd least in the MLB, and whip, we kind of had... I thought we would have more guys in this, but Fulmer up there with 101. Let's see if we can find our other guys here with our in whip. Urania is actually our 2nd pitcher with whip. He finished 10-7 on the year. Pretty good, to be honest with you. From the #5 starter, we bumped him up to #4 after we traded Marco Estrada, then DeSclafani, and then Jarlin Garcia. So let's look at our individual stats here as a team as we look to see, we need to see who did well during the season, because we're going to have to do a lot of player evaluation, especially after the season that we had offensively. and we don't know. So this is what I was saying. Josh Bell and Justin Bour, you can see they're top 2 in average on the year. Looking at Josh Bell first, let's just look at him. He had 29 home runs, really good for, you know, a guy that actually has been in the league 4 years. And we picked him up, and we kind of had an idea to kind of grow with him. 84 overall, A potential. I think, you know, right now, his expectation is only a platoon, and he's an everyday player. I wonder why he's a platoon. He's thinking he's going to be a platoon player. I think it's because he doesn't hit as well. You see his hitting zones aren't as well with lefties. I'm not sure, but he definitely has been progressing at a pretty rapid rate. So I don't think I would choose Boer over him, but I do want to see Boer play another position, but I don't want to, you know, change his position because I know he can't really play anywhere else because his fielding attributes are pretty bad. So moving down to John Giavotella, he had a good year. Remember, he was hurt for about 2 months, 2 to 3 months. He actually came back in a strong way. 286 on the season. Didn't hit too bad. I like what he did. If you look at his stats from last year, he had 265. He actually went up from there. So it's good to have somebody on the roster that can hit in a kind of platoon role. He can kind of probably back up, you know, our future second baseman. He does have deep potential, but, you know, he's just a pretty good player off the bench. I gotta admit it, he's a pretty good player. So I'm gonna be looking to probably keep him around. He is gonna be a free agent. Going down to Domingo Santana, he hit 278, 84 RBIs, 33 home runs. He went down a little bit from last year, but the year before that, he kind of matched that total, 278 the year before that. So he's kind of living in the ballpark of where he should be. I want him to kind of go into the 300 consistently, around 299, 300 or something like that, 295 to 300. But he's kind of regressed a little bit. You see his progression kind of went down a little bit, and I think it's just because he had such a great year last year, 311, then he dropped down to 278. I think that's what had to do with it. So Manny Machado, interesting. So when I signed him, I thought he would definitely hit around 279, 280. I thought that's what he would be. That's what he's been in his career. But his attributes say otherwise. His attributes say that he should be a lot better. So I'm kind of down on him a little bit. And I did sign him to that monster deal. He's eating up all of our salary cap. But I just don't know. I mean, like, he's great on defense. He hits the ball well. But I would expect him to hit a lot higher. I'm a little disappointed. And I know he's a career 280 hitter. But I was just expecting him to, along with a lot of the guys that he's around, we have a lot of good offensive players, but we just didn't live up to the standards. And that's maybe something that we'll maybe have to address in offseason, getting people that are more consistent, and hopefully even our call-ups that we'll have going into the next season, our rookies, will be consistent. I'm depending on them. Danny Valencia is a guy that filled in through free agency. I don't think I'm going to re-sign him again. Remember, he did have that big home run. Unless he has a monster offseason, I don't see myself re-signing him, simply because he does play a lot of positions, but I'm looking for somebody that has more of an arm, more speed, somebody that, you know, isn't as old as well. I mean, he's 34 years old. I do want to get younger there. Jung Ho Kang, he actually hit pretty good. I mean, he hit pretty good for a guy that I was expecting to be just a guy off the bench. He hit 271, and he might be a guy I actually might keep around because he does play middle infield. We'll see. I don't really know, but he's kind of like Danny Valencia. Doesn't have great speed, doesn't have great fielding attributes. He's just a guy. Adrian Beltre is another guy. I don't know how I feel about him because he is slow. That's the thing. He is slow. I might want to keep one of these three free agents, one of these three guys, because if we do let Justin Bour go, we are leaving a power bat out of the lineup, and we might need to kind of, you know, make up for that. So looking at center field, Lewis Brinson, 254 on the year, 24 home runs. He actually hit 24 home runs, career high for him, and that's doubling his, more than doubling his total from last year. One thing I do want to get up as far as it goes, stolen bases, only 9 this year. Let's see how many he got caught stealing. Let's see if they have that on here. So 8 stolen bases. He got 9 stolen bases, 8 caught stealing. I mean, that's that's kind of bad. I don't want that to be the ratio. Hopefully he can get a lot faster, maybe even with his base running aggressiveness, let's see what that's on. So that is on 50, and his stealing's on 56. So, and it's fun. What's funny is that actually went down, and it's probably because he has got caught stealing quite a bit. So I do like him at the top of the lineup still. But JT Realmuto, look at him, he's hot right now, and mainly because of that last game. I mean, he's kind of been hitting better than what he was before, but only 225 on the year. The only thing about him is that, you know, he is only demanding $2 million in free agency. We'll see what he actually demands when it comes to it, but his expectation right now is $2 million, and he seems like he's happy. I mean, to be honest, he's happy. So he is 28. He's still got some youth to him. I actually might consider still re-signing him simply because it's hard to find a guy with speed at the catcher position, and he has, you know, good hitting attributes, but it just hasn't been there this season. Leury Garcia, he's a utility guy. I'm pretty sure I'm going to bounce him up between the minors and majors next year, depending on, you know, who's healthy, who's not. So we'll see. Austin Nola was our backup catcher for most of the year until I brought up Taylor Ward, who only hit 118, 34 at bats. I don't think he's playoff eligible actually, so he's gonna probably miss the playoff roster. But I'm going to be looking for him to make big strides next year. So that's all our position players. Let's move over to our pitchers here. So starting with our ace, Michael Fulmer, 15-7, 187 strikeouts to 55 walks. A pretty good year for him. I mean, this is exactly what I expected from him. 26 years old, so he's going to grow a lot. A potential. I expect him to be probably 99 overall. Come a couple of years, I'm pretty sure he's going to be probably like 94 next year, somewhere around there. I mean, it's a treat to have him as the ace. I mean, we did give up a lot for him, but I think it was worth it. Jarlin Garcia, our number 2, and you know what's funny? He's 87 overall right now, and his performance has definitely made him probably higher than what he's expected to be, because his potential is at a B, but I'm pretty sure that's like a mid B, and he's still going up. And if you look at this, I mean, his home runs per 9 went up +8, and that's mainly because he didn't give up many home runs this season. So if you do well playing with this guy, I mean, he's gonna progress. I mean, 87 overall, you can't complain there. DeSclafani actually did surprise me a little bit. I had the expectation that he was just going to be an okay starter, but he's actually above average. 1.21 whip, 3.80 ERA. We do have him signed for 2 years, so I'm excited for him moving forward. He's still only 28. Jose Urena, I still don't think, you know, he's a number 4 starter. I still think he's probably a number 5 in our rotation, and he might even be a long reliever to some extent. But he did have a great year. I mean, I can't lie. He had a great year. 1.20 whip, his career low. 3.18 ERA, his career low. 134 strikeouts, his career high. And he pitched his most innings, the most innings he's ever pitched, 172. So he actually did pitch pretty good. We'll see how it shapes out in the offseason. I don't expect to sign another starter really, because like I said, we have these 4 guys signed. And then we're probably expecting Braxton Garrett to make the leap, so we probably might sign 1 just in case Braxton Garrett does not make the leap right away. But I'm expecting Braxton Garrett to move up. So Trevor Cahill was a guy that we signed in our first season as a free agent, and he's going to be a free agent come this year. So I don't see myself re-signing him. He had an okay year. 1.51 whip, ERA 4.87. Definitely not enough to stick around, so I'm definitely probably going to let him go. Danny Barnes is actually one of our good guys. 6-3 out of the bullpen, but 2.99 ERA and 1.29 whip is pretty good. I mean, as a guy out of the bullpen, that's exactly what you would want from a relief pitcher. So looking at Despaigne, who did bounce up from the long reliever role to the starter towards the end of the year, and this is the guy that I thought that Jose Urena would be. I thought that I could potentially move him into the long reliever role, but Despaigne did show up there. Bartolo Colon Jr. is interesting. I did have him as a closer. He had a 1.49 whip, 5.24 ERA. Not the best year. I expect him to get better. He's only 18 years old, so he's going to get better. I definitely expect him to grow a lot because he's B potential, 18. Like I said, he has good attributes, so I'm not really worried about him. Jose Torres was a Rule 5 draft guy, and you know what? He did okay. I mean, not good by any standards, not bad. 146 whip, ERA at 3.50. Strikeout to walk ratio was a little over 2-1, almost 3-1. So, I mean, he did okay. Steckenrider was a guy that was actually tearing it up in the beginning of the year, but now his whip is at 1.50, and I don't know what happened, but it seemed like after the All-Star break, he definitely declined quite a bit. And this was a guy that we were kind of floating in trade rumors, so maybe this is a guy we might actually trade in the offseason. We'll see. Tony Zych is a guy that I won't trade, though. He is money. I mean, I can't lie. 1.39 whip isn't great, but to be honest, anytime I put him in, he shut it down. I mean, he didn't give up many big hits. It looks like he blew 7 saves. I don't know how that's possible because I didn't even have him as closer for that long. So maybe during games when I simmed, maybe he blew it. But anytime I pitched with him, I mean, he was good. I mean, I can't lie, he was good. And like I said, 1.39 whip is about a little over average, but it's not above average or like way above average. And then Edebrey Ramos, the last guy, got him from the Phillies at the deadline. 1.38 whip, 1.49 ERA. I mean, that 1.49 ERA is sticking out. I mean, he definitely did his thing there. So I don't know. I think I might move him into the closer role. We'll have to see. He was the closer for the Phillies, and he wasn't doing so well for them. Trust me, this whip was at over 1.5 something when I got him, and now it came down. So he actually did do pretty well. So one thing I do want to look at is our guys at the minor league level. So it looks like they wiped out the stats already for AAA. I want to look at Braxton Garrett to see how he did, but I guess they wiped it out. So let's just look at who made the playoffs so far this season, because we did skip ahead a little bit. So we're now at the playoff bracket. We are facing the Cubs in the first round in the NLDS. The Washington Nationals and the Colorado Rockies are going to play for that wild card game. On the other side of the bracket, Boston and Oakland, Houston and Cleveland, and then the Yankees are awaiting their opponent, and the Dodgers are awaiting theirs. So let's just look across to see how everybody finished in each division. So you see the Cubs did finish 9 games above the Brewers for the division. The Rockies finished only 2 games above the Rockies. The Rockies actually had a really good season, so that Rockies and Nationals game is going to be pretty good in the wild card. As you can see, the Brewers missed the playoffs by 5 games. Cardinals back there by 8. The Mets still, they're still rebuilding a little bit at 11 games back. And then our other division team is the Phillies. They're down here. And where are the Braves? They are 69-93. I mean, they are really bad, as the Reds are down there as well. So looking at the AL, the Yankees won their division by 12 games over the Red Sox. That's a big division win for them. Indians, they win their division by 22 games. I mean, that is just domination as far as their division. And then looking at the AL West, probably the best division as far as how close the teams are. Astros, they clinch it, and only by a half game, and that's pretty telling, because I think there might be a shift as far as power in this division, as the Angels are there as well. And looking at the wild card, the Red Sox and the Athletics. So, I want to look at a couple of guys that we did trade away. Let's just look to see how Brian Anderson did, because we did trade away Brian Anderson. So looks like they didn't even have him at the major league level. Looks like they moved him down to AAA. So that shows that, maybe Brian Anderson just isn't going to work out. And he's got time. He's a potential 25. But for him to not even play on this team, I mean, that's kind of telling. And they do have a solid infield. Don't get me wrong, they have a solid infield. But you would think as an AL team they would find room for him. And, Ohtani can't play both ways in MLB the Show. So he's a good hitter. And right now he's their best rated pitcher. But, he can't go up and hit him because he can't really hit. He's on an AL team. And this game doesn't allow you to go both ways. So let's just look at awards here. So it looks like Manny Machado brings home the NL MVP. So wow, I mean, how did that even happen? And JT Realmuto wins a Gold Glove. I don't even know how this happened, because he had a decent year. I think it's the home run total that really brought him up. Like I said, I've been a little bit disappointed with him. and maybe I shouldn't be. I mean, let me know. I mean, should I be disappointed that he's only hitting 275 with the attributes that he has? And I mean, maybe I am just being, you know, down on him a little bit, but you know, he was phenomenal on defense. 986 field percentage. He's definitely going to be there every year. 5.6 WAR, so wins above replacement. So he had a good year. Let's just look at the rest of these awards. Cy Young goes to Zach Greinke, who went 18-3. I mean, he just absolutely killed it. 0.96 WHIP. Let's see. Freddie Freeman goes home with the batting title. He had a monster year. Let's see his contract. So it looks like he does have a huge contract. So he's signed for a while. Kenley Jansen, third year in a row, winning reliever of the year. That's pretty good. Luis Urias does come home with the rookie of the year. Did we have any great rookies? I don't think we did. I thought Jahmai Jones would be able to compete for it, but he was definitely struggling quite a bit, so he did miss out on that award. Hank Aaron award goes to Freeman. Hendricks gets the Gold Glove at pitcher. We'll just go through all of these. I don't think we had anybody up there anyway, so these are the awards for the NL. So it looks like Manny Machado is up there, Christian Yelich is up there. So let's look at the AL really quick. The AL MVP goes to Stanton. He hit 54 home runs. So that's not even his career high. That's what's funny. 54 home runs is not even his career high. He was a monster, the former Marlins. Cy Young goes to Severino. I'm surprised it went to Severino. 19-7, but you know, he is on his way up. Don't get it twisted, but I didn't think it would be this quick. You know, Severino 19-7. He's a monster. Gary Sanchez goes home with a batting title. So the Yankees are just all over. They get the MVP, the Cy Young, and the batting title. I mean, they just beasted it this year. Ronald Guzman comes home with the AL Rookie of the Year. And let's just go through these really quick. I'm not going to stop at any team. Gold Glove actually went to Stanton as well. So, I mean, the Yankees had a big year. They had a huge year. And it's kind of telling. I mean, they might steamroll through these playoffs. You never know. So that's going to do it for this episode. Next episode, we will start out watching that Washington-Colorado game. I do want to apologize for that quick manage. And I think the game just has it broken right now because, like I said, when I started the game, I was at a neutral position. I pretty much was at a neutral position. I started the game, and it made it look like I was controlling that team, and I wasn't. I wasn't controlling them. I didn't select sides. I just hit start. So, like I said, hit subscribe, hit that like button because we're gonna be back for the playoffs, and I don't even know if we have home field advantage. I don't think we do because we're going up against the Cubs. So we'll see. We'll see you at Wrigley on the road. Yeah. So we're on the road at Wrigley. Facing Quintana. Remember, we faced him earlier in the year. We kind of struggled. So this is going to be a good series. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Let's get it. Let's go.